You're watching Mirror 7 News. Stay informed, stay ahead for more news.
Today, I want to talk about one of the most tragic and controversial incidents in modern British military history. The crash of a Chinook helicopter on the Mull of Kintyre in 1994. It's a story that has haunted families for over 30 years and still raises questions about safety, politics, and accountability. Back on June 2, 1994, RAF Chinook ZD 576 tragically crashed into a foggy hillside, killing all 29 people on board, 4 crew members and 25 passengers, many of whom were senior members of the security services. The helicopter was flying from RAF Aldergrove in Northern Ireland to Fort George near Inverness, reportedly for a conference linked to the Troubles. What makes this tragedy even more painful is the allegation that the crash could have been prevented. According to retired squadron leader Robert Burke, who was a test pilot at the time, the aircraft had been chosen for what he describes as a show flight. The Mark II version of the Chinook was supposed to demonstrate to the Army that an upgrade from the Mark I was safe and on schedule. However, safety concerns had been repeatedly raised by RAF test engineers and pilots. They noted serious issues with the aircraft's engine software, including unpredictable malfunctions, surges, and shutdowns. Despite these warnings, the flight went ahead, and Burke believes internal politics between the RAF and the Army played a role in the decision. The families of those who died have been left in a state of lifelong grief and frustration. Patricia Conroy, whose father Det.Ch. Supt Desmond Conroy died in the crash, described the decision as a reckless act that began a lifetime of bereavement, trauma, and a search for the truth. Even more aggravating, critical documents relating to the crash have been sealed for 100 years, and calls for a new public inquiry have repeatedly been rejected by both the Ministry of Defense, that is Modi, and the Prime Minister. Over the years, the pilots were initially blamed for negligence, but were exonerated 17 years later. Sir Liam Fox, a former Defense Secretary, has expressed deep concern over the circumstances of the crash, and has committed to supporting families in uncovering the truth. Leaked evidence suggests the Chinook was not airworthy and should never have been allowed to take off. Families continue to campaign for justice through initiatives like the Chinook Justice Campaign, insisting that the full story must finally be revealed. The Mull of Kintyre crash remains one of the RAF's worst peacetime disasters. It's a tragedy not only for the lives lost, but also for the decades of secrecy, unanswered questions, and unresolved grief that have followed. The story of this Chinook is a stark reminder of how safety, politics, and human lives can collide with devastating consequences, and how the pursuit of accountability can become a decades-long struggle. Stay subscribed for more videos.